guys, how you doing? I hope you're all doing excellent. We're here, just like all of you, at our COVID-19 quarantine, stay at home. And we've been working on the FC as usual, as you already know. But unfortunately, we've been having some pretty serious problems with the car recently. After taking it for a long test drive, an extended freeway drive, about 45 minutes, came home, started acting weird, wouldn't hold idle, and if it would get started, even trying to rev it, it would just immediately die.
Even just letting out the clutch and it would die.
Yeah. So obviously very concerning symptoms. So we went through, traced down a few fuel leaks, which is nice to get those out of the way, but still no results. Contacted our tuner remotely and gave him a rundown of what was going on and found out we made a huge mistake. So follow along with what we're talking about so that you don't make the same mistake, and hopefully we're going to recover from this just fine. So the mistake that we made was running the wrong premix. Now, I was running E85, which is also not recommended before you get a tune for it, but for some reason when we were running off the base map, the thing that made it run best and work best was running E85, and I was running Idemitsu Premix. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about Idemitsu. Idemitsu is the premium, top from Japan brand of rotary premix, but it is designed for regular fuel, 91 octane, here in the States, and I was running it with E85. Bad problem. So it doesn't mix correctly with the E85, which means you don't get proper lubrication inside your engine, which means obviously you could have wearing down of your seals, which I'm terrified to even think about, but we have to confront that. And also it gets gummy and it doesn't go through correctly, so it can gum up your fuel lines, your injectors, and your fuel pump. Now let's move on to some good news. Today, drained the fuel tank, got some 91, mixed it with Idemitsu, 1 ounce per gallon. Just tried to start the car a few times. It's still running the same tune with the Haltech 1500. It's still running on the flex fuel sensor because there's some in the lines. We may change that later. But after a few crank and tries, starts up, it idles, and it revs when you touch the throttle. So let me show you that right now. First of all, I want to apologize about the appearance of the RX7 because we haven't been able to move her, and so she's been sitting out here getting crapped on. Hopefully, if we're successful today, we can give her a bath. She's looking nice and good again. But anyway, I know this isn't too exciting, just listen to a car start, but when you've been having trouble, let's hear and see how it goes. If anybody's paid attention in previous videos when we start up the car, usually it takes a lot more than that, and just to flick the key and it fires up. I'm trying to be optimistic here because obviously we hope we haven't done too much damage to the motor, and we hope that we don't have to pull it out and rebuild it, spend the money and the time, because we want to keep things going. But the critical point now, before we continue to run the engine and drive it, especially with load on it, is to test the compression. So we're letting the car warm up right now, and then we're going to go through the compression test process. We do not have a rotary compression tester, so we're going to have to do the kind of improvised method with a regular compression tester that we just rented from O'Reilly's. Okay, so now that we're up to operating temperature, what we're going to do is we're going to remove the 2 leading spark plugs, and then we're going to and then I've already disabled the injectors using the Haltech. We're going to unplug the basically crank angle sensor so that the spark doesn't fire, and then we're going to run our compression test using the rotary compression method.
In case it's hard to see, it's the bottom spark plugs.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got the compression tester hooked up. What we're going to be looking for each rotor, we're going to do peak pressure, which held with the gauge. Then we're going to hold down the pressure relief button on the gauge, and we're going to get it to pulse, and we're going to record that in slow motion with the camera, and we're going to read the pressure readings for each face of the rotor. 1, 2, 3 readings. Do the same for rotor 2. And then there's calculators online we can plug that into to see what our actual compression is. So keep your fingers crossed. This is where the money maker is. Okay, so Jeff had to run off to work. So I'm trying to do this compression test by myself now. Very challenging. But I did get both peak for the rotors, front and rear. I got 110 on the front, 114 on the rear. So that's a good sign, because I feel like if there was damage to the housings or anything like that, that it wouldn't even get that nice healthy peak number. But now the challenge is to get the pulses on each of the 3 faces. Now I thought with this gauge I could just hold this down and it would allow me to pulse it and read those, but it doesn't. It just reads barely 30 psi because it's just releasing the pressure. So what I'm going to do is remove the Schrader valve from the actual hose that connects into the fitting for the spark plug hole, and then try and take it again, which is the recommended step for online from online. So let me get through that and I'll show you the results. Okay, successfully got the Schrader valve out. Got my tripod here. Got to set up this camera to film the pulses and then slow down that footage to get the numbers. At least this is the way I've seen done it online. So let's give it a shot. Alright guys, so I hope you just enjoyed that footage in slow-mo of the compression testing. Basically what that is the pulse. We're looking for 3 consistent pulses at good compression, meaning each face of our rotor has good compression. So, the good news is we dodged a bullet. The bad news is the injectors are probably clogged up a little bit. We still need to put about 1,000 miles on the car before we can take it to get dyno tested. So hopefully all that burns away, but we will need to flow test the injectors before dyno day. Not a big deal considering what a big mistake I made. So for now, they're going to be running the car on 91 octane with Idemitsu Premix. Let me get into the sun so you can see me. There we go. Nice beautiful day. But now, since she moves again and drives, I'm going to give her a much needed bath. All right, looking nice and clean and shiny. Thank God I'm able to drive her around again. All right guys, a quick but important video today, and we got a good feel on what is the actual compression of our newly rebuilt from Lucky 7 Racing 13B 4RFC project. We got her running again, got her take a bath, and now we can continue on with some more projects. Hope you're all staying safe out there and not going crazy in the midst of our stay-at-home orders. Hope you're enjoying your day. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.